Oh, God. Put your chest away.
Nope.
Yeah.
Necrons,
Obeisance.
Phalanx Enclave. With the victory, with the final score, Necrons, 69. Come on.
38. Yeah, 38 for the DeathWatch. Second week of very low-scoring games for us. That was, I know your game against Brian was a high-scoring game, but last week we were also very low-scoring. Not lower than this now, but it's still pretty low for both of us.
So let's go over some of the highlights and some of the things. You made some changes to your list. How do you
Which
feel?
didn't help me in this game at all. But
well, the infiltrators got you some points early.
Yeah.
They get you points. They were in position early.
Yeah, I could have done the same thing with ATVs, but I played against Necron Hypercrypt this past weekend, and they were super effective, super useful, and at least letting me not worry about them jumping into my backfield. So that's fine. Yeah, I'm locked in for the weekend, and I'm not too worried about running into your exact list that you're playing here, and especially now that I know how it works, or have a better idea of how it works. He kept telling me rules. I'm like, okay, so everything just has all the rules. Everything rerolls all its hits and rerolls all its wounds and all, and it's extra AP and negative AP and this stuff.
Hashtag all rules.
Yeah, so many characters. So, but yeah, I'm glad I played against it so I can see what Immortals do and what they're capable of and how I can position myself so that there were too many times when I got onto objectives when I didn't need to. And just gave you the ability to take it from me and score your secondaries.
I did catch that. I did catch that a couple of times, like late in the game.
Well, even when the Calidus killed the Tomb Blades, I consolidated onto the objective. Obviously, should not have, because that you were within range to charge in and wipe out.
I wasn't.
And score your secondary. So I definitely made some mistakes, and I'm glad I played against these Immortal spam, because now I've got a better idea how it worked before I go into this weekend. So.
Very much so, yeah. Like I agree with that, because like with the Calidus being up on the objective, you weren't going to hold it. One of my Immortals out OC.
Yeah.
So that was not going to happen. And then there was another moment with the Terminators too, or the ones that you had at center, that I think you probably could have avoided being on an objective, but maybe just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like there was like just a wee bit, maybe with the Overwatch or something like that. But aside from that, like the Eradicators didn't have much of a role this game because there wasn't that many vehicles, and the vehicles I did have, your Exterminators, were able to do that well.
Yeah, they kind of whiffed. The big 6-man brick whiffed when it went into your Stalker the one time, so it didn't contribute a whole lot, but I'm not too worried. Most lists have some kind of vehicles.
Yeah, no, this is just one weird time where I really didn't have a vehicle out there. There was only the 3 in the monster. And then I tried to keep this one tied up for most of the game. So by doing that and hitting those there, I thought I was going to lose that objective. I did lose that objective, but at least I was able to keep it tied up there. And with some of the strats that this detachment allowed me to do some really fancy stuff over there to score points with very little. So that was cool. And then in the center, I kept crashing with stuff just up into the middle corridor just to try and prevent you from being able to move in. So you couldn't. I was really afraid that you were going to get both of those tanks on that center objective, and that was going to be game over. And that was my big thing I was trying to stop. And then the Terminators ran into some Immortals. And how did you feel about that?
I mean, the shooting I was kind of expecting. I didn't expect them to be so good into combat. And with their Armor of Contempt on all the time, Space Marines just don't have good combat. You know, Terminators are all right, but they're AP2, and when you bring them down to AP1 and you're at 3 up armor anyways, I just didn't have the quantity of attacks to wound you. Because even with the Power Fist, because you're T5, I'm still wounding on 3s. You were just outperforming me in combat, even with Terminator squads. Even when I ran 2 Terminator squads into your Immortals, they just bounced. And then you did more damage to me than I did to you. So eventually they wiped all the Terminators.
So a lot of what the combo was, just to throw it out there, basically the Immortals have 2 attacks apiece, which is surprising. Then you have the fact
that strength 5 for some reason. And
then you have the strength of and then it's the +1 to wound. The +1 to wound buff. Then you have the re-rolling wounds versus units on objective markers. On top of the fact that my 1 unit was also re-rolling hits against units on objective markers. So it was just like, how many dice do I have? Throw everything at it. And then when you combine that with the power of like the Overlord having flat 3 damage, now it's starting to actually pick these guys up and get them out of the field, especially the 3-wound Terminators. Yeah, the Immortals are extremely. They're definitely a red herring of like. Well, no, red herring wouldn't be the right word, but they're definitely a surprising unit for what they can do out of this attachment.
It's a Russian doll of rules. Like, oh, we've got this rule, and open that up. Oh, there's another rule inside. Open that. Oh, there's more rules inside. There's more rules.
Marushka das. Anyways, but yeah, no, that was a big part of it. I had the 2 Chronomancers with the Tesla so that I could move, shoot, move, and they were able to be anywhere I needed on the field.
They could advance, shoot, and move.
Yeah, because I would never just move them. Yeah,
because
I had the Tesla Immortal.
That's the movement was crazy too. So
because then I'm looking at the automatic auto advance 6, then I shoot, then I'll move them again, and now I'm on an objective, and that's how I was able to get them into the center and just having those extra squads. And Xeris, I mean, Xeris does what Xeris does. Wanders around the field and reminds people that he has a 36-inch range gun.
A flat 3 damage.
Flat 3 damage, 36-inch range. Like, he just looks across the field and just goes, I'm going to snipe this dude. Pew! Like, I don't understand. I think last edition he was 18, and at least that made sense.
Yeah.
But I am glad to see, like, Xeris did really was the linchpin in this list. Being able to do, like you said, armor contempt plus the additional AP really made a lot of stuff work. I think I need to do a little tweaking to my secondary component. Blade ones were okay. They're cheap. They did what they were supposed to do, and they reanimated back in. I would give them a second chance, maybe into different units. I might like them a little more. Triarch Stalker, they did what they were going to do. You know, I need more practice with them. I might have been out of position with those. I mean, the one melted weapon and charged on turn 1, so I don't think he was out of position.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, there are things they take away cover. So when you combine the extra AP you get from Xeris with the taking away cover, and they didn't really get to do that this turn because you kind of sent them off on their own little adventures. I mean, I picked up one turn 1, and the other one just came and
that was gambling with that one.
Yeah, he just came and fought my tank, which nobody else was shooting at. So I think they probably didn't get to show their true ability because that the extra AP stacked with ignoring cover, that's where it's going to really benefit the army.
This is true too. I just didn't hit with the Beltas. Couldn't really getting tired. Couldn't even bring that one home though. But no, any other thoughts on different things like hindsight, things you might have done differently?
No, there's a ton of things. Now that I've seen it, you know, we have to get on objectives. You have to get on objectives late game. I think what I would do now, if we had to play it again, is I would intentionally go after the squad that rerolls all hits on things that are on objectives as an enhancement. Because only one squad can do that, right?
Yeah, I'd put that with the lethal.
Yeah, I can shut that one down. I can go after that one and kill that one, and it gives me more ability to control the board because, as it was, if I get on an objective, they would just stick their heads out and ace whatever's on there with full rerolls to hit, full rerolls to wound. Just the volume of shots they got through were enough to do it. But yeah, there are definitely some things I would do differently.
I think a big point of the game where the game kind of turns, the real turning point of the game was when you didn't kill the Triarch Stalker on the Deep Strike.
Mm-hmm.
If the Stalker dies, I think a lot of things change up there. You got additional points and swords and such on there. I don't think I had him past that, but definitely that Triarch Stalker needed to go down that turn. Being that he was in combat, yeah, it was hard to hit him, so that was a good thing. But yeah, that Triarch Stalker needed to die. That was that guy staying alive really helped out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So Lich Guard kind of meh. I don't know. Like I don't.
I mean, they didn't get to fight because when I pop off my tome turn, I did have good damage output there because I picked up an Immortal squad and I picked up
But that's part of what I'm saying.
Lich Guard squad.
Should I maybe might switch them into just another squad of Immortals? 10 more Immortals. You know,
I mean, they're 2 wounds, so they innately have some more durability. I don't know what your points outlook is. You need somebody to just get out there and hold.
Yeah,
but the Immortals fight so well in combat, anyways, that it's not like they have that much of an advantage. I don't know. It's something to think about.
It is. I mean, I do like the Lich Guard do have a lot of defense. Like if they get into combat, like as far as like that slowing down wall, I gave them the enhancement for -1 to hit in combat.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're looking at -1 to hit, and then if your strength is higher than mine, -1 to wound. So now, and then 2 wounds apiece. So now it's 20 wounds. And then if the Convergence is nearby, 6-up, feel no pain.
Yeah.
And man, Convergence of Dominion. He killed he killed 2 Eradicators, I think. No, he killed 1.
Kill one. He made deep strikes difficult. Like he just naturally blocks out from deep strikes. Just sitting around doing his being there thing. So.
60 points. Ain't bad. Ain't bad. I'll take him for 60 points. So, all right. Well, I think we basically can wrap this up. We pretty much covered most of it. You know, there's not really a lot to talk about for your list because you're locked in. This is what you're taking. That's it.
I'm stuck.
I think, like you said, the biggest change would be trying to fight me from off of objectives and not be on objectives to not give me such, like, when you charge in, try and not give me those extra kills.
Yeah.
And I think, like,
well, you explained the list to me, but I didn't understand because there's just so many rules. It's a quantity of rules with all these things. Now I get a better idea how it works. I can play into it a little bit.
It's tough. Like I did. Yeah. I went through everything, but it is tough because I'm trying to. There's all the abilities that I have in this are stuff that you see in other armies. You know, in it. But when you go and look at something like World Eaters, Space Wolves, and they charge into you and have full rerolls to hit and wound and this stuff, you're just like, okay, I expect that because those are combat armies. But then when I charge in with Immortals and do that, it's like, wait, how is that all developing? And that's where it gets to that point if it's slightly confusing in that sense. None of the abilities are all that weird. It's just not the way I've played them in the past and not what you typically see from Necrons, like seeing Immortals charging in. I
hope I never see them again.
But you know what's one thing I didn't do a lot of in this game? Reanimating.
Yeah.
My army, you often say, I want to kill stuff and just let it stay dead. Stuff stayed dead. Even when I popped only one Res Orb I popped this game, I reanimated one Immortal.
Yeah, I'm not too sad about that.
I was. All right, Lane, any closing thoughts?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, good luck this weekend.
Thank you, sir.
You'll be fine. As we've seen, I went and crushed it with Grey Knights after getting slacked 5 games in a row.
Perhaps you've done the favor for me as well.
Exactly. Pass it forward. It is tradition to lose the last game you play before you go to a GT, and then you win big.
All right. Well, we'll see if it's tradition. We'll find out.
The blessing is passed. All right, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Nope for the win. And we'll talk to you again soon.